Nobody's looking at me while I bathe. Nobody's ever going to look at me while I bathe. I don't even look at me while I bathe. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cognitive Entrepreneur. Today, I am feeling great. I feel like I have so much strength inside of me. I feel like my muscles are about to burst out of me. I feel like I'm about to almost jump out of my skin. As I've mentioned before, I've been eating a lot of raw squid out of a bucket, and the results are the proof is in the pudding right now. I guess you could say, the proof is in the bucket of squid that I'm eating. Yesterday, I felt awful. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even really walk, to be honest. But today I woke up and I felt this surge of energy. I can tell that this feeling is never going to end. And now I am ready to take on the world and not be completely bedridden with heart palpitations. So yeah, this raw squid out of a bucket diet, I cannot recommend it more. Oh my God, I feel like I could kill a man. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about an issue that's sort of been in the news: privacy. Everybody's making a big stink about privacy. They're going on, the news reporters are talking about, oh no, the internet's watching you, the government's looking at you, the companies are looking at you, I don't want people looking at me, oh boo-hoo, boo, I'm a big baby, I'm a big old baby. You've got a decision to make. You have two choices. You're either going to be looked at all the time by corporations and the government, watching you as you sleep, as you eat, as you shower, especially as you shower and bathe. That's when they love watching you. 99% of the population is being watched while bathing. Or you can make the choice to make your private life private. In this era that we live in, that is a hard choice. I've made that choice. Nobody's looking at me while I bathe. Nobody's ever going to look at me while I bathe. I don't even look at me while I bathe. You have to sacrifice certain things in order to be able to get this privacy that you want. So like I said, everybody is watching you at all times. The government is constantly looking at you through your screen, and they are enjoying what they see. Let's just put it that way. Same with corporations, same with nonprofits. Zoos do it. I'm a big zoo fan, but zoos definitely are hacking into your email to see, okay, what is it going to take to get this person to go to my zoo? I want them to go to my zoo and look at the animals, get that money off of them. Your phone is watching you. Cameras are watching you. Animals are watching you. You see a dog walking down the street, you're like, hey, what's this stray dog doing around here? There is a 99% chance that there is a small camera embedded inside of that dog, and that dog is definitely filming you and giving it to the government or a big corporation like Comcast or Huawei. The Chinese are definitely watching you. Your walls are watching you. They've embedded cameras inside of your walls, and they are enjoying what they see. If you own a cat, that cat's watching you. Your family is watching you. Trust me, I'm an entrepreneur. I want that data on you. Believe me, I'm going to get that data. So I totally understand from their perspective, but I'm not going to let them get data on me. No way. So here's the tips for making sure people aren't watching you. Every electronic device is spying on you. Phones, computers, microwaves, even real simple things like can openers, screwdrivers. If you don't think there isn't cameras and microphones inside those things, my friend, you're dead wrong. The only thing that cameras and microphones can't seem to get their signal through, duct tape. You got to wrap all your items in duct tape. Your computers, your phones, utensils, everything. Get that in duct tape. My home is just, it just looks like a gigantic duct tape factory, if you will. Everything's padded with duct tape. People come over to my house and they're like, you look like a crazy person. And I say, would a crazy person be making sure they duct tape everything in order for the big corporations not to listen to me at all times? But what about the cameras outside your house that are peering in? Because, that's happening. You don't want your windows to be able to, is people seeing through your windows. You think blinds are going to be able to hide what's going on inside, what you're doing? You're wrong. Those are made by the corporations. They're making sure they make those blinds and curtains so that the cameras can see you inside. Block out your windows with titanium. That's the strongest metal. All my windows are encased in titanium. No one's getting a view inside my house. Titanium gets kind of expensive when you gotta put it on every single window and install it. Wood is fine. Just use wood, just really maybe a couple layers of wood, hard wood, mahogany. A mahogany window would be a beautiful sight. This is going to be a tough one. Emails, texts, phone calls, even having a conversation with somebody. 99% of the time, somebody's recording that conversation, even if you're in a park. I've invested in a paper that disintegrates about 10 seconds after you take it out of the wrapping. I jot down what I want to say to somebody onto this paper, quickly hand it to them, they read it, and then it immediately disintegrates. That will be your main form of communication. It's a sacrifice. I've lost some friends over this. They'll be like, hey, why aren't you talking to me? You're just staring blankly at me and writing things onto a piece of paper. I hand them that paper. They try and read it quickly. I write long messages so they can't get through the whole thing sometimes. That has ruined some friendships, ruined some relationships for me. Now, disintegratable paper, it ain't cheap. For about 60 sheets, it's about $1,000. Definitely save up some money for this disintegratable paper. So this is the next step. Once these entities realize that, I can't get any info on this person because this person is boarding up their window, speaking in disintegratable paper and covering their entire house in duct tape, I can't get any info on them. Instead of doing this the sly way, these companies are going to burst into your house and demand information from you. So what I really recommend is booby trapping your house. I have all sorts of explosives inlaid in my house. And in case these companies want to get in, they're going to be met with a surprise. When they enter my duct taped, boarded house, better believe that there will be explosives ready for them. I think that's a very healthy perspective, is just to constantly be wary and be aware that at any moment people are going to burst in your house and get you. I've mentioned Bitcoin is a good way to hide your funds from the government. They have no right. No institution has a right to look at your money. It's the most private thing in the world. How dare they? What I think is a better thing to do is put it into a commodity, an object. Some people say put all of your money in gold bars and hide it away. When society breaks down, which I expect it to happen in the next year or two, what are you going to do with that gold? You can't eat it. Now, one substance that I do recommend putting your money into, saffron. It's a spice. I believe it's from deep Asia. It's about $5,000 a pound. You better believe I have a lot of saffron stashed in my house. I stash it in the closets. I stash it in the walls. Let me tell you, it reeks. My house reeks of saffron and duct tape. You can eat it when things really go bad. So I definitely recommend hoarding a bunch of saffron in your house. It will smell, and you don't need to declare saffron. The IRS doesn't care about spices from Asia. Another great way to protect your home is rabid Rottweiler wolf hybrids. If you just get straight wolves to walk around your house, they'll eventually turn on you. I tried it a couple times. Those wolves, they start to hate you after a while. You got to have the Rottweiler wolf hybrids, because the Rottweiler in them, they'll stay loyal as long as you continually feed them steaks, raw steaks. Wouldn't recommend bringing anybody else over to your house. Angry Rottweiler wolf hybrids will attack them. They're angry animals. So yeah, definitely don't let those dogs get into your saffron, because you're going to lose a lot of money. And what are you going to do? I'm not going to discipline those dogs, because if I do, they will kill me. So yeah, definitely get those to just roam around your duct tape covered house, your boarded house that reeks of saffron. I'm just going to throw this out. I'm a double standard kind of guy. I want my private life to stay private. But my employees that work for me, that privacy goes right out the window. You know, they owe me a lot for the jobs I've given them, and they will be watched. The thing with employees is that they are generally, conniving. Generally, about 80 to 95% of your employees are planning on how to usurp you. That's just human nature. And so you want to make sure that they don't. And the best way to do that is to keep tabs on them. I actually wish I could call my employees traitors instead of employees. How do you keep an eye on them? Aside from monitoring all of their emails, texts, phone calls, their conversations with their family, one method that I like to use, dude with a camera. I have a guy, Frank. He's also, I've talked about him before. He's the acupuncturist slash baby chamber manager. He walks around the office with a big camera and just gets in people's faces and starts filming them. It's almost like hiding in plain sight. You're not going to suspect the guy with a camera who's filming you and not saying anything to be the person who's ruining your privacy. And whenever anybody asks him, hey, why are you filming me? I'm feeling very uncomfortable. He just sort of releases this guttural growl. This definitely hurts morale, but it's a good way to, keep a tab on your employees in real time. I enjoy watching Frank filming them. In fact, I'll sort of, tag along. I'll just stand there with my arms crossed and, glaring. I enjoy these videotapes. I take them home and I watch them in my spare time. I don't limit it to the office place. I like to get in my car. In the back seat is Frank with the video camera, and I just sort of pull up to these employees' houses in the middle of the night. Just sort of sit there. Oftentimes they'll open the blinds and see these two men in a car videotaping them. They'll realize it's me, and I'll wave. So definitely, just videotape all of your employees at their homes at night, just to make sure, just to let them know, you better not betray me. You better not betray me because I'll know, and I will get you. So I hope this gives you a better sense of how to make sure to keep your private life private while also making sure your employees' private lives are definitely not private. Definitely check out the Business Money Hacks podcast I have with Dustin Hahn. He is a businessman who definitely keeps his private life private. I barely know anything about the man, and he's my best friend. He owns a compound deep New Zealand, and you better believe no institution is going to be keeping tabs on him. Like that podcast, subscribe to that podcast, subscribe to this channel, like this channel, get your friends and family to like this channel, and have them give me money.